Hello, and we are live, apparently, to an audience of none. Oh no, we've got an audience of one so far. G'day, Huawei. How are you?
I was just getting ready to send you a message, Grasshopper, and tell you that Blackie was on. You'd better get your buddy in here.
Pretty sure Huawei's got his notifications on. Whoops. But yeah, here we are on my channel for a change. Something different. A little bit later than usual. So people are either in bed or elsewhere. G'day, Gaffer. How are you, mate? Good to see you. At least I know it's early enough in the day for Gaffer not to be in bed. That's all right. I meant to start it once I'd finished my cigarette, not while I was still smoking. But there we go. Best intentions, something, something, something. So how are we all? Oh,
Bob has no sound. I hear Blackie really good. You can't hear either one of us?
I suppose he can't. Also
talking
can't
to
answer
him like
that
he can hear me.
G'day, GRP.
Grasshopper, would you type in there for Bob to try going out and coming back in again? Because evidently he can't hear us.
Lol. He must read lips.
I know he can do sign language. You see that, Bob? Yeah, he left. He says, I'll go back in. Yep.
Yeah, that was well timed.
Yep.
How's the temperatures over the west side, you western fellas?
Well, it's not bad right now. It's 51. Last night it got down to about 27, so well below freezing. And we just had a weather report come out saying that we've got a good chance of snow next week again. So
yeah, right. Yeah, we're having summer temperatures already here.
And the neighbors across the road, their trees are like bright freaking orange. And the neighbor next door here, their trees are like totally bare. So I think winter's about here.
Did that work for you, Bob?
Now, Bob?
Yes, I can hear perfect.
Good.
16 and overcast. A bit jealous of that, Gaffer. Crikey. Says it's 27 and windy here. I don't believe the 27. I reckon it's at least 31. G'day, James. How are you, bro?
Hey, James. At GRB.
So what's been going on since we last spoke? No bushfires? We've had a few more fires, but nothing close. It was very, very smoky when I got out of bed this morning. And there was a grass fire burning about 15 kilometres away. I can only assume that's where it was coming from. And the same big bushfire that was burning the other day is still going too, but it's contained.
Yeah, they were saying that El Nino here is going to be like a warmer than normal winter, but with some big snowstorms in between. So, whatever.
Brendan, how are you, love? Good to see you, mate. 11 degrees and wet, a Scottish mist.
Nice.
That's what you get down there in the bottom of NZ. It's good to see you in, by the way. Popping in for my random pop-up stream. Nice to see you. Brendan's a friend of mine. We went to college, I guess you could call it. We call it TAFE, Technical and Further Education. That's where we met and became fast friends. And then
I wasn't sure for a minute if you were talking about college as in prison college, they call it here. We met in college, which a lot of times can mean you met behind bars.
I see.
Yeah.
I imagine if we met behind bars, we'd probably have a similar relationship as well. But yes, he left me to move across the Tasman Sea to New Zealand with his woman.
Very nice. So New Zealand is a very, very pretty place.
It is.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Brendan is a big fan of Vizsla dogs. Do you know them?
Are those the like real skinny ones with the long faces and the long hair? Or no, those are the hunting dogs, aren't they? The Vizsla hunting dogs?
I think they're a hunting dog.
Yeah, they're kind of a reddish color and kind of wiry looking, and they got a lot of energy, and they're a bird hunting dog, if I remember right.
I think they're Brendan's ones that I've seen are more of a grey browny color, but they can go from like creamy colors
I used
to
to have a
probably
friend
red.
that had a red one, kind of a stable red.
Oh, thanks, Huawei. I didn't realise they were streaming. I would have delayed the start.
Who's streaming?
Oh, Vibes.
Oh, okay. I think he streams almost every night. Yeah.
We always seem to overlap with them on Sundays. The finest of the pointer retrievers, gold ruffet. Hello, Amisa. How are you? Nice to see you in. Where's Amisa? Somewhere in the States, I'm guessing, with the good evening. Hope it's not too late for you, love.
Hey, Amisha. Where are you from? I am not sure. I try to remember where people are from, but I don't remember where you're from.
It's hard to keep tabs on everyone's location, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. California. Okay, so it's only like 8:47 there now.
Nice. G'day, Vinoxki. Welcome.
Vinoski, hello.
Vanessa Vinoski. Hey, Kalish.
Don't have any side topics to talk about of usual, as usual. Come in unprepared. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Welcome.
I know you're as bad as I am, Blackie.
Hey, Sandy.
Generally, though, we only need one or two trigger words and we get going. And
yeah, this is true.
So.
This is true.
I don't know. I know Pam saw, but did you see, Blackie, that my false cobra passed away?
I did not. Damn. Had it eaten yet? You'd fed it, hadn't you? No, that sucks. Either way, it was a very pretty snake.
Yeah, he had assisted fed it once, but I'm wondering if it had anything to do with a couple nights ago when we were talking. It was stuck in the branches of one of the woods, one of the tree limbs. It was like its body got wedged down in a crack and it was stuck. and it was kind of hanging upside down. So I'm wondering if maybe that had something to do with it.
And I don't think that would have happened if it had been filling up to par.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Terry, hello. I haven't not seen you for a bit.
G'day, Terry. It has been a while.
I was thinking about Terry just this evening. Just this evening.
Were you sitting on the toilet? Sorry, Terry. I had to say it.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping toilet would be one of the trigger words.
Yeah, I made a mess of mine this morning. We went for a nice long drive down the freeway for what turned into a fairly large family reunion yesterday.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
As far as we knew, there was only going to be like 10 people there, catching up with a section of the family that, I can't actually remember. Over 10 years for some of them, and one of my cousins, I don't think I've actually seen him since I was a 3 or 4 year old child. So, 45 years in between visits.
Wow.
But yeah, we expected there was going to be about 10 people there, and there ended up being maybe 40 to 50 people there.
Oh, holy smokes. So it's like a regular family reunion.
It ended up being quite large.
Did you have a barbecue or just sit around?
No, we went to a pub, and we had their beer garden area out the back.
Oh, nice.
Sort of filled up and booked out by all of our people. So
what?
Just pub meals and beers and whatnot. Yeah, that was probably the contributing factor for me making a mess of my toilet, was that I drank beers, and I haven't drunk that many schooners of beer for quite a while. So I've been trying to work out what the contributing factor must have been, but I think that might have been it. But yeah, to get to the town that we went to, it's quite a distance south of here. And the last time I went there, it probably took us 3.5 hours to get there. But now that they've finished most of the freeway up and down the east coast of Australia, pretty much go straight down the freeway and inland for, I think it was about 26 Ks. And yeah, maybe an hour and 40 minutes. A damn touch better than 3.5 hours on bumpy country roads to go down a freeway.
Nice.
At 110 Ks an hour. Mostly.
What's the speed limit on the freeway?
110. I did also discover that my
I don't know how that translates to miles per hour. I know it's a lot higher because the first time I went up in Canada, I thought, oh, this is cool. The back roads here are 80 miles an hour. Then I saw the K after it. So I was like, oh, well, maybe not.
Yeah, I think it's probably still only, well, it's not quite double. Because there's
it's not quite double, but it's quite
1.6 miles to the kilometre. No, 1.6 kilometres to a mile. That's it. That's the way it goes. So yeah, it's probably still quite slow compared to your 55.
58 miles per hour, which is that's not real high speed here. Okay, so the 110 is 68 miles per hour, and our freeways here are mostly like 80 miles per hour. So
yeah, right.
You go quite a bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people do go quite a bit faster on the freeways. We have lots of speed cameras, as well as those average speed cameras. They have
Yeah.
them every few kilometers to check that you're going the right speed for an extended period of time. So yeah, most people behave on the roads. And I did find out that the speedometer in my car is 5 kilometers per hour out because I was using the GPS to find my way there. And the GPS is obviously very accurate with the speed that it provides you. And yeah, so I was driving at 115 according to my car speedo, but that was 110 via the GPS.
Our freeways have signs on them that say 80 miles per hour, and Fords just do the best you can. I have a Ford, so that's why I had to say that.
137. Yeah, that'd be a sensible speed to travel at. I mean, the roads are all good on our freeways. You could probably safely travel at that speed. But yeah, for the most part, forever and ever, 100 Ks was the maximum. And I remember being so surprised the first time I got on a freeway down in Sydney when I was a child, not even as a driver, and seeing speed signs that said 110 and thought how amazing it was that they got to go that much faster on the freeways down there.
Yeah, they changed it here for a while, like in this big fiasco that was supposed to save gas. They changed all the speed limits to like 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it irritated a lot of people. That's when that one song came out. You remember it, Bob? That I Can't Drive 55.
Yes.
Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, he made that song. He wrote that song because he got off the plane and didn't realize they'd changed the speed limit and promptly got a speeding ticket going home. So he sat down and wrote that song.
I don't remember it ever being over 70 though. It's what it is now.
It used to be in Wyoming and Montana had no speed limit on the freeways. I mean, we had no speed limit because there wasn't that many cars on the freeway and they didn't care. So you'd cross the border and there'd just be no speed limit. You can drive whatever you feel like driving.
Nice.
That was like probably they changed it about 20 years ago. They changed it and actually made a speed limit.
They made it law here for a little while for big trucks. They had to be speed limited to 100 kilometers per hour. But then when all of the freeways and whatnot became, their main source of their main routes, I guess, they stopped making big trucks be speed limited. So
yeah, Wyoming has a speed limit now.
Now, you can certainly have that occur, like Amisa says about getting overtaken. You're sitting there on the speed limit at 110 and a truck can go past doing 125.
Yep.
Our problem here in Tennessee is we don't have the stay in the right lane except to pass law. Georgia has that, and I think Alabama has it around us. But people get in the left-hand lane, and if the speed limit is 70, that's what they do, and they think they're entitled to stay there. Craziness.
Yeah, there's in certain, like in the city, parts of the freeways near the city where they go to 3 and 4 lanes, there's laws in place where the big trucks have to, our lanes are obviously opposite to yours. They have to stay in a 3 lane, in the very left lane, or in a 4 lane, the left 2 lanes, which are the 2 slower lanes over here. And yeah, but once you're away from the city areas where the traffic's a lot lighter, they can drive in whatever lane they like.
That's similar to here. I see a lot of signs around the Chattanooga or Nashville area that say trucks stay right.
Yeah, I remember driving through Nevada. I'm going to tell you this just because was my most memorable trip in the middle of the night. I was a teenager, and we were like out arrowhead hunting, and we were actually headed down to Lake Mead because one of my uncles was a park ranger at Lake Mead during the summertime. He taught school in the winter, and then he'd go to Lake Mead, and he was a park ranger during the summer. So we were going to go to Lake Mead and see him and go swimming and water skiing and all that kind of shit. So we were on our way in the middle of the night, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and not another car on the road, on the freeway, going through Nevada. And this car caught up with us, and it was a carload of boys, like probably 19, 20 years old. Like there's probably like half a dozen or so of them, but they were drinking and fricking around. And they started doing this thing where they would pass us and get ahead of us, and then we'd come around a corner, and they'd be like posed, sitting on their car with their beer bottles up, and stuff, right? And they started doing that, but they kept like getting closer and closer as they were passing us. And I remember one of them had on like a German helmet with a spike on the top and stuff. And, they were just out shitting around, but they passed us. They did that like probably 4 or 5 times, and then my dad about had enough of it. So we passed them. They were like posed and drinking, and we passed them, and my dad reached underneath the seat and got out a sawed-off shotgun that he kept under the seat, and he just like laid it on the windowsill, on the driver's side windowsill, like I had the window unrolled, and he just like laid those double barrels on the windowsill. And I still remember the look on those guys' faces when they pulled up next to us, and we're like screaming and, carrying on. And they looked over, and one of them pointed out the gun, and they just like, go on. We didn't see them anymore. That was the last we saw of them. Hey, Daniel.
G'day, Dan.
Hey, Daniel.
Because there's something impressive about looking down the barrels of a double barrel shotgun.
Now they want to cite you, the police do, for showing people you have a gun.
Oh yeah, and besides that, even way back years ago when I was a teenager, a sawed-off shotgun was highly illegal. But that's what my dad had for his traveling gun.
His traveling gun.
Yes,
Nice.
his traveling gun. Kept it underneath the seat.
I think based on Amisa's poll that she's taking in the chat at the moment, mine pales in comparison to all the other ones coming in. My fastest was about 170 kilometers an hour in a Ford Falcon GRB, similar vehicle. Mine was a station wagon, 95 model, I think it was. But the stupidest thing about mine was, it was a 95 model, but it wasn't in 95 that I was doing it, because we had two of our kids were in the back of the car, and my wife at the time. And we'd had a bit of an argument in the car, and I had a bit of a silly reaction and drove the car incredibly fast for a little while down the road to break my mood. I think she was supposed to be navigating or something, and she missed a corner. So, that's a valid point to snap, surely.
Enough for me.
150 miles an hour in a 78 Trans Am. Those were fast cars. Yeah. I got my little Barracuda up to I was racing a kid on the freeway, and I was like 18, 19, and I don't remember what he was driving, but I had this little Barracuda, and we got up to like the speedometer only went up to 120, and I got it up past that, so I'm not quite sure how fast I was going, but it was over 120.
Did you win the race though?
Yeah, he backed off. And then I slowed it back down because the front end was kind of doing this bouncing thing. I was I'm probably going a little bit faster than the car wants to go.
That's why the numbers stop at a certain point.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I had, GRB. That was my first car. It was a 65 Barracuda with the big bubble window in the back. And I had an 8-track player with the speakers in the back.
Yeah. I had an 8-track in the Trans Am too.
Because it was the style at the time.
Yes, it was. And I can still remember going down the freeway and it was really cool with the speakers in the back with the bubble window. It like really amplified the sound really nice. But I still remember going down the freeway and listening to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. That album, I think that was the first 8-track I got after I got my 8-track player in my car. I think that was the first one that I bought. And then I had Simon and Garfunkel. And I don't remember what else I had, but the music back then was pretty damn good, guys. I mean, I hate to sound like old people saying that, but the music back at that time was pretty damn good music. Old rock and roll was good shit.
Give Kat our hellos back, Huawei, and say she's forgiven for her absence.
I know she's doing family, I think, tonight and until tomorrow night. Sister days.
Push button gears. Will you say that, Pam? And then I have to go ruin it by saying I remember washing my Trans Am, by hand at the car wash, blaring Donna Summer. So that wasn't exactly classic music, but
the Queen of Disco.
I did not have push button gears on mine though. I had like a stick shift on the floor on mine. A 69 Chevy pickup with an 8-track player. Yeah. If I could get any car that I wanted to right now, I would get like one of the old Chevy trucks with the running boards, and the rounded cabs. That's what I'd get.
There's an old Plymouth Valiant that I pass, and I passed for years, like going over to my sister's to the mountains. It's just been sitting there like at this fruit market. Never moves.
I wonder if the American Valiants are the same that we used to get out here in the 60s and 70s.
I wonder.
Maybe one of our GRB might have more knowledge on that than myself.
This is a Plymouth
Valiant.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, Daniel. One of my cousins did something like that. He wasn't racing, but he was. He had this old car. God, I don't remember what it was, but I know they'd borrowed it for a couple old movies because it was an old car. But he was. It had push buttons on it. I remember that because he was going down the freeway and he was laying across the front seat and had his feet out the window on the passenger side, and he was just driving it because it had to push gas and everything on it, and he got pulled over, but then the cops started talking to him about the car, and he never did get written up for it because they don't like it when you're driving like that.
Yeah.
Well, the Valiants in Australia, I think Valiant was actually the brand name, and it was Valiant. Like noble, gallant. So yeah, maybe different cars, but I'm not sure if they were actually manufactured in Australia or not. But still renowned as a classic Australian car, whether they were made here or not. Old bass player that I used to play with drove an old 68 or 69 one. And it was called the White Swan. That's what he called it anyway. I'll have to look up Dodge Dart and see if it looks like
I used to have a Dodge Dart at one time. I had one of them.
I had a friend that had one in college, and they used to race it.
Yeah, that's what Valiants used to look like. So yeah, maybe they just pinched that design, and or maybe they were made over in the States and imported and just under the badge of Valiant, like they do to many cars these days. Pardon me.
I'm old enough that I remember my stepdad, when I was little, maybe 6 or 7, had a Plymouth. I don't know anything more than that about it. It was a Plymouth, and it was a 40-something, the old cars. And when he would come home from work, when he would come down the hill and put his brake on, the brakes would squeal. So we could hear him a quarter mile away. It was pretty cool. It had the bench seats in it, and old car. It's the oldest car I've ever ridden in, I'm sure.
Was marketed by the Plymouth division of the Chrysler Corporation. Australia. Let's put Australia on there as well. So yes, there was considered a Chrysler in Australia. But yes, being that Plymouth was a subsidiary of Chrysler, they were probably one and the same car.
Cool.
Initially, let me open that up so I can find the rest of that sentence. Initially, a rebadged, locally assembled Plymouth Valiant from the United States. From the second generation, launched in '63, the Valiant was fully manufactured in Australia.
Well, there is a Tennessee fish
Yeah,
mafia tomorrow, Grasshopper.
Do you want to do it on this stream, Huawei? I can send you the link. I can probably just even put the link in chat. Might be easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like we've got any nasty dickheads or wild humans in here, other than the wild ones that we already know.
Oh, are the crickets distracting? I can go in another room. You don't want me to go in another room?
I'm fine with it. I've got enough background noise.
I can just barely even hear them, so.
It's warming up in here. I just came in here to get some heat going in here. So. The ones that are singing, I could say, step up, you're next in line for the critters that eat you, and I bet they'd stop.
Grasshopper says he doesn't care.
Yeah, they weren't really distracting to me, because when I saw Huawei type crickets into the text, I thought, what? We're all talking. What are you talking about? And then I noticed that it was actual crickets.
I thought Milo had stranded himself on the bed, but he's just in here barking. Oh, the other thing would be out of water. Yep. Yep. Timmy's in the well again, damn it. Lassie. Oh, you've got a half a bowl of water. What's your problem, Milo?
What car were you drag racing in the Bronx, Dan? In the one you spoke about before? The 74 Dodge Challenger. Oh, that was Goodyear 74. Even though I missed most of it.
Butch, that you've heard me mention before, had a 71. It was a UT red with white stripes on the side, a convertible.
Yeah, a beautiful car, especially back in that vintage. Classic shape. G'day, Patty.
Hey, Patty.
I've given him the link, but I can only assume he's trying to find the package and maybe setting up or removing all the sex toys from his room.
I had a guy friend one time that had a Dodge Challenger, and I was living in Baker, Oregon, which is pretty much cowboy country. And I lived outside of town off the freeway, and he came to see me one time, and he got behind a herd of cattle that they were moving down the road. And the Challenger had big wide tires on it. And guess what happened to the whole side of the car? It was rather, yeah, it needed a shower. By the time he got to my house, it was pretty bad. Great big fat tires throwing shit up on the sides of the car.
You know, the scaredest I've ever been in a fast car was when I was maybe 12 or 14, and my sister Kathy had graduated high school, got married, and her husband was managing like maintenance on a golf course near here. And of course, out in the country roads, no stripes on the roads or anything, curvy and hills. And the guy, I did jobs like I would put ice in the ice coolers around on the thing, and you know, I thought it was cool because I got to ride around in the cart and stuff. But anyway, I went to lunch with the guys a couple times, the men that worked there, and one of them had a yellow with a black Landau top Barracuda. Oh hell, I don't think we touched the road except the tops of the hills on the way to where we were going. I was scared to death, and there were no seat belts in it either. So, TV.
Yeah, back in those days, we didn't use seat belts.
No.
That was back when the cars all had cigarette lighters and ashtrays too, which you don't see in the new cars anymore.
I remember we were visiting with my uncle who lived down in Sydney many, many years ago. I was probably only 9 or 10 at the most. And it was an old Ford. I can't remember which type, maybe just a Falcon, but it was all souped up and whatnot. And it had the bench seats, and I was in the middle of the front seat between my uncle who was driving and my dad on the other side of me, and my brother and my mum and my uncle's wife at the time were in the back seat. And he was considerably younger than my dad. Probably there might be 15 or 20 years between them. And yes, he was a bit of a rev head and knew this spot where he could speed up to the peak of this hill and actually get his car airborne on the descent of the hill, and did that. That might be the time where I was most excited but scared as shit in a car.
It's scary when you leave the road.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's just on a city street that just happened to be a very steep hill with quite a sharp crest on it. And yeah, there was definitely airborne action, just like the Dukes of Hazzard or something like that. Freaked me out. I think my dad and my mum weren't very impressed either. Me and my brother quite enjoyed it, but it's still quite frightening.
That was a Barracuda in the Dukes of Hazzard, wasn't it? I think.
No, I think it was a Charger or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a Charger or
Yeah,
a
I
Challenger.
think it was a Charger.
It was a
Charger,
Charger.
yeah. Challenger's different.
Did I call it Barracuda a while ago?
Yeah,
It was a Charger.
yeah.
Yeah. It was a really pretty car, yellow with the black top and big wheels.
Yeah, that sounds like a Charger.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was newer than that, their car, or older. I can't remember when they were on. It's been a long time ago. I don't think you see that leaving the road much intentionally unless it's like rally driving. I love to watch that. Found my tripod in the sink. Nice.
You're talking about going over steep hills, Sandy, at speed. You just couldn't get away with that nowadays. Some bloody rat of a child would dob you in.
The General Lee. Gran Torino. I think that is a race, isn't it? But I had a Gran GRAN Torino. It was a piece of shit, but I didn't realize till I was watching about the Cougars. I like those old Cougars, the late 60s, early 70s. Never had one, but I drove one once as a rental car. It was great. But I got a Gran Torino, and that's what the Cougars morphed into at some point. Crazy how they divided up the different divisions and different styles of them. At the time, I liked it, but it was
What company makes the Gran Torino?
Ford.
Oh, right.
It had some kind of engine. I remember people saying, I don't know anything about cars or engines, but something about a Cleveland overhead something, and that's why it was a shitty engine.
Oh yeah, I had a boyfriend for a while that had a GTO too. That was a pretty sweet car.
So,
See, we had the best cars and the best music in the late 60s and early 70s. I'm telling you.
my mother, Mildred, she dated a guy named Warren Allen Matthews, and he was 10 years younger than her. And he was in the Vietnam War. And when he came home, he bought a brand new Malibu. And I'll find it somewhere. I have a picture of me standing by his car. We'd been fishing at the dam, and I was trying to hold up a big fish. And I'm as black could be with the Indian and barefoot and hair shaved off. And it's funny. And he's in the background. And that was her boyfriend when she was, I guess, 35 or whatever. Another cool car.
Yes, it was quite a good movie, GRB. And the without the D was Gran Torino. That was the I don't know if you could call it a sequel, but maybe an epilogue to Breaking Bad. Focused on Jesse from Breaking Bad, and he had that super sexy Gran Torino ute.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
That was a good looking car.
Sandy, you did what for the kids? Left the ground?
G'day, Bruiser. Yeah, doing the jumping over hills thing.
In the school bus.
Oh, cool. First car, so you know then, Bruiser. Mine was like that, not a coppery color, but that muddy brown. Again, with the black Landau top. 2-door. I don't think they made a 4-door.
What's your CB stand for, Bruiser? Because it always makes me think of a certain CB in particular that is probably not what it stands for.
I thought it meant Citizens Band Radio, but I'm probably wrong. Something to do with they stole my Challenger. Oh, hell no.
Oh, I remember when my dad had a CB radio that he used to keep in his truck when he'd be going down the road, causing trouble. Everybody knew my dad. I remember there was one farmer in the gorge that raised chickens, and he would get so mad because my dad would call him the chicken choker and talk to him on the radio, and he did not appreciate that. I don't know why.
It is GRB.
Are they rerunning it on Paddy? It sounds like another excuse.
Oh, I've got the worst backache, and I've got the chills, and I was feeling good today and looking forward to my stream, and all of a sudden I just got hit with everything all at once, and I decided I'd better wait and stream tomorrow night instead.
Did you take any medications?
No, I don't have anything in the house except for Benadryl, which isn't going to help with this.
Not with that attitude.
Angel of Mercy, Blackie.
Gotcha. Bob was right then. Citizens Band.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that Dr. Black decided to go, so now we'll have the best of both.
Yes, that's it. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay, though, because my back is just, like, killing me. I'm going to lay down pretty soon.
We wouldn't mind you laying down on stream, Pam.
No.
I would never do that, but
Oh, gotta see Sam first, though.
He was moving, but now he's frozen backstage, so it might have been the wrong time to bring him up.
Uh-oh.
I was going to ask him to give me a thumbs up or something to show that he's ready, but now he's all froze up.
it's not good.
Hope you can still hear us, Huawei.
I don't see Jenny Lynn in there. I bet she.
Yeah, he demoted Floyd because Floyd stays in the bathroom and doesn't join the streams very often.
That's where he's at right now. And I just went in there. Hey, Sam.
There we go. We've got some movement. How are you, lad?
Good, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Oh, the camera froze.
Noticed.
Okay, cool.
G'day, Trash Cat. Pardon me.
It's probably a glitter bomb inside, Sam. Be careful.
Mm.
What do you have there?
Oh, sorry, I fixed them on the phone.
I like your pictures the way you've got them in the back there. That's pretty
Oh.
cool.
Thank you. Blackie,
Yerzy.
you're Australian. You have to say something when someone has a knife.
Ah, that's not a knife. I've still not really got the greatest comparison. Beside me.
Okay, here we
Oh, I
go.
could though. One sec. I can outdo it.
Watch, he's gonna bring back a machete. Tennessee shirt.
Yeah. And
Hi, Jenny.
I think this is anthrax.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Oh my God. It's a frisbee, right?
Oh, cool.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
And she wrote a touching love note in here. Dear, why are we always yelling? You're so handsome and I love you. What? I'm just kidding. Saying that.
Who is that note from?
Patty or Gal.
From the imagination.
She wrote this for me.
Nice.
And she's not giving me her email to send her PayPal. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Is it
She probably
black?
doesn't want email stalking.
It is black.
Nice.
How do I get one of those shirts?
It's taken me over a year to get this. And I've been asking. I ask every time. I ask all the time.
So that's where I've got to start. I've got to start now.
Yeah.
You know,
I
the
might
best
get it by
way.
early 25.
The best way is to catch Ed when he's raising money to go to an event. I found that out, and that's how I got the purple or the plum one a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago.
Oh, thank you a lot, Patty. I was kind of kicking myself telling you a 3X because I'm losing a lot of weight, and this is got me a 2X, which is perfect. Thank you. I was thinking about, God damn, I should have asked for a 2X because I'm growing, or my shirts are growing too big, which is a good thing.
What's your tattoo under your left arm, if you don't mind me asking?
That?
Yeah.
It's just a tribal. This is the only one that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I would notice, of course. That's pretty cool unboxing.
Thank you, Patty.
Very nice.
I'm the trash cat.
Did you see this one my way?
Yeah, the fantasy blade.
That would take somebody's head clean off.
This one, I'd imagine this one would feel splendid going through someone's rib cage.
Mm.
Did I say that out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when my nephew was moving to Tasmania, he thought it best that he didn't, because Tasmania is pretty much overseas from the rest of Australia, and they have very, 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 very strict import laws. There was a few things that he had to leave here at my house so that he didn't get in trouble for bringing dangerous things into Tasmania.
Yeah.
It's a good fit. It looks like.
When Tucker went to college, he was living with me, but he had a big he was getting ready to go live in the dorms, and he had a big sword collection. So we put them all underneath my bed because I have a big old, like an antique bed that sits way up high off the ground and stuff, and you can put a lot of stuff under it. So we had all of his swords laying underneath my bed. And then I moved, and the bed was one of the first things. I was just driving back from work with my truck full of stuff, and the bed was one of the first things I moved because it is nice to have something to sleep on at the new house if you end up having to spend the night there. And then I was just sleeping on the couch at the old house while I was moving stuff. So I moved the bed, but the swords were still laying there on the floor where the bed had been.
Yeah, right.
And my landlord came to show somebody the house. I said, yeah, go on back. And then it dawned on me that they were back in the bedroom, and I heard, holy shit. I was like, oh my God, those aren't mine.
Classic denial. You say that's a 3XL, Sam?
It says 2.
Doesn't seem to be too baggy on you.
No, it says 2XL. On the tag, it says 2XL.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, it still is baggy on me. Like,
First time
little baggy.
First time you wash it, dry it real dry.
Yeah, if I wash it one time on hot, it'll shrink down.
Right up, yeah.
But if it's good though, it's comfortable. Thank you.
Yeah, I got that problem too. While I'm dropping weight, most of my clothing's going to become baggy, and I'm going to look like 1993 again.
I bought a pair of pants a size I don't ever remember being. Like whenever I was old enough to buy pants, I was always a 36 until I got up to like almost a 40 in prison. But now I'm a 32.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, pants are always a funny one for me because all of my weight gain happens above the waist. So like I might be a 2XL in a shirt, but I'm only a large in pants, or down 34, 36 in pants because I've got a small waist, no bum.
Yeah.
And I don't get fat legs. I suppose I don't get fat legs because they're carrying all this weight around, so they're exercising currently. Always. Just a walk to the fridge is exercise. So Patty was responsible for getting that to you, was she?
She was. And I appreciate it. She doesn't even know. I mean, she has an idea, but it's been over a year of me asking at least twice a month to whoever would listen if I can get a Tennessee Fish Mafia shirt. And finally, someone did something about it.
Yeah, very cool. Very good, Patty. Good job.
Thank you.
Patty's
and it's my birthday next month. It's my birthday. Wait, is it October yet?
It's nearly the end of October. It's
okay.
Like 2.5 weeks to maximum.
My birthday's on the 9th of November, so thank you. Early birthday present.
Bob has a November birthday too.
I know.
Pam.
He's after mine though, isn't he? He's like on the
20th or something like that.
20th or 30th or 22nd. I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, one of those days.
I'm not observing anymore till we hit the 70.
Lucky for you, Huawei, it's going to be impossible for me to forget your birthday from now on, now that I know you and Zach share the same day.
Yeah.
But you're
likely. How is he doing, by the way?
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
I haven't heard from him in a good minute.
He's been playing lots of 7 Days to Die.
He hasn't been streaming it, though.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, he just has to, I mean, I have the notifications turned on for him. I'm sitting there. Yeah, I'll be ready.
Do you use Discord?
I do.
Do you have his Discord channel?
I don't.
I'll work out. I'll let him know to somehow share it with you. Do you know him on Discord? Are you Discord friends? Is friends a thing on Discord?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know exactly what my Discord thing is. 1 second. I don't be pushing buttons, and
Hey,
I don't
hello.
know the thing about StreamYard and button pushing. Hello, Billy Jean.
BJ.
G'day, BJ. Yeah, he played. You know, are you familiar with 7 Days to Die? How you get the Horde Nights? He played one of those to me the other night, which was quite fun. And then the last couple that he's wanted me to watch along with on Discord, I've been unavailable to watch them, so he does that quite often. So yeah, I'll have to hit him up and get him to either stream some more on YouTube or just get you onto his Discord channel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he has it's a big channel.
What's
like
that?
lots of people in it.
Oh no, no. Just a few of us gaming people that he games with and whatnot, because we mostly just use it for in-game comms.
Yeah. Sweet.
I'm sending him a message as we speak. How you doing, BJ? It's good to see you again.
I've got pain in my back and down my legs and across my shoulder blades.
Pam, you know, I was remembering that you were talking about the sword under your bed. I think it was the midwives way back in the time used to say put a knife under the bed and it'll cut the pain of childbirth. But it might work for your pain too. It'll cut that pain.
Just do more push-ups, Pam. Push-ups and pull-ups.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Right now, my knees are killing me. It was my back a minute ago, and now it's my knees. I'm just having like rolling muscle aches, rolling around different parts of me. Hey, June.
Hey, Junebug.
G'day, June.
But I'm already very self-conscious, and it's getting worse. So love you guys, and thank you again, Patty. Yeah,
That
these
is
are
just awesome.
highly sought after shirts. A lot of people want them, and a lot of people have bought them, but a long time ago. So thank you. I appreciate this tremendously. Thank you.
Very nice.
Love you too, Pat. Love you too, Jen. All right. Bye.
See ya. Thanks for coming up. Huawei, that, and anyone else who's interested, that link I just put in the chat is to the Ball Space, which is Balzac's Discord, and he's recently found a Australia map in 7 Days to Die, and he said he was thinking about streaming some of it.
It's whose link, Blackie?
My nephew, Balzac.
Oh, okay.
He shares a birthday with Huawei.
Yeah. I missed that. Sorry.
Those are never fun, BJ. Herniated discs. I lived with 3 of them.
Oh, a herniated disc is not a good thing, BJ.
Yeah, one's bad enough, let alone 3. I have a regime of exercises that I need to go through when mine gets too nasty.
I used to do that for the one in my neck, but it ruptured, so I'm not supposed to do them anymore.
Yeah, right. We go from one extreme to the next.
Right. Get the epidurals now. When it gets bad. Mice are nasty as hell. Nasty, nasty.
I think he spells it with one L, Paddy. So it's like that philosopher guy from the 1700s or whatever. Was he Horatio Balzac? No, he had an interesting first name because he's like a foreigner and stuff. But yeah, everyone feel free if you're Discord users, go and join to the ball space. Yeah, who'd have thunk that a head injury would lead to a back injury? But I suppose we all know with injuries, anything's possible for BJ.
I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Honore with a little thing above the E.
Honore.
Honore de Balzac.
I think it's just
With
basically
a B-A-C.
it's a just a dialectical version of Henry. Henri.
He was regarded as one of the founders of realism in European literature. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go because I've got, I hurt really bad and I've got chills and I just want to, lay down and get underneath the blankets.
Yeah, probably try and get your feet up a bit too. Elevate them
because
somewhat.
my legs hurt and my feet are swelled, of course, because they always are.
No worries. I appreciate you turning up. I know you were feeling poorly from the get-go.
Yeah. So sorry I haven't been too much fun or anything because I'm not feeling the bestest.
That's all right. You were here.
Tomorrow night. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow night instead.
All right. We'll see you then, and you take care of yourself, eh?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hooroo.
Don't talk about me. I might go back and watch.
Don't worry, we will.
How about that Pam, eh? Jeez.
She's a trooper. I think they called her a trooper. Is it just us, Blackie? I'm sorry.
Tis, yep. No, sorry. I just got a message in from a friend of mine who's been having suicidal thoughts, but it's like a page and a half long, so I might have to read that later on.
Just wanted to get these rats settled because they were getting rowdy. Or mice, rather.
I was going to say rats plural. I thought you only had one rat.
Now I just have the one still, and he's doing great. And as soon as the blood python looks interested, I'll have none. I'm going to start feeding these mice to the blood python. What a nice thing to bring up on the chat, right?
I don't know. Did I ever tell the story about my one of my pet rats? Because I've had a few pet rats in my time. The one that used to escape and would get found and brought back to us.
No.
I used to have, I didn't keep it in a cage. I thought I was really creative, and I had one of those. You know what strawberry planters are? They've got three pots, but they're stacked, so you alternate where they go. And I had one that was maybe 4 or 5 tiers, and I had it hanging out on the back veranda, and that was the rat's home. No cage around it or anything, but it was as far as I knew, it was a sufficient enough distance from the window that it hung near that the rat wouldn't jump. And for weeks to months at a time, it didn't, and it was quite happy to hang out in there. You know, I had some straw and some soil and whatnot in there that it could play around with and make a nest out of. And then one day it went missing, and it was missing for a couple of days. And then one of the neighbours from across the road brought it over and said, "Is this your rat?" And it was like covered in grease and oil and stuff because they'd found it in their garage in some corner under a workbench or something. And it was only a white rat. So I was like, quite possibly, maybe it is. And I popped it back into its little knot cage, and it was instantly back to running around the cage and finding its spot. And so I was feeding it and whatnot. And then a few weeks later, gone again. And a few days later, same neighbor, same garage, brought the rat back. And yeah, it was then that I decided it probably needed a cage. So it got a cage after that.
They're so smart.
Yeah, they are. But there was obviously something that drew it. Maybe they stored their dog food or something in the garage, or there was something that it was lured to in their garage, because that's where it was found both times.
You could have had a social life over there.
Could add what?
A social life over there.
Yeah, maybe they had their own rats. Maybe it was going over there for a breed. It was a boy.
Yeah. From what I've
But yeah,
seen,
clearly I underestimated its ability to leap from the strawberry pot to the windowsill and then scale down the brick wall.
I can see that this one I have is intelligent. It thinks things out, and I put things actually in there for it to do and to play with, and it's pretty clever.
Yeah, they process their environment and work shit out.
Yep. The little mice, like if I change, when I change their water, they have the water in the tube, but they also like to get nasty and have some water in a bowl. So I've always done that for them too, and have to change that twice a day. But if I switch up the bowls and don't put the right bowl back in each one, they're leery of it, and they all gather around and stand back like 6 inches and look at it, and
Yeah, right.
not real smart.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, Paddy. He was going for the lube service.
Ah.
Pardon me.
Bob's in love with the rodent. No, because if I fall in love with him, then I'll have a rat, and I don't want a rat. And of course, he's about 5 times nastier than a mouse. Every day I have to clean his every day because it's sitting right there in the floor in my reptile room.
Huawei, did you hang around in chat earlier to see the link that I put in for Zach's Discord? I assume you did. Just confirming. Oh, I had my first, I don't know. When was it? It was on Thursday. So no, I haven't streamed since then. My first carpet python sighting for the season the other day.
Nice.
It was coming out of the little cupboard in the corner over there. Past the second fridge, there's a little door, which is just basically a little storage shed. It used to be a bird aviary. It got converted into a storage room. And yeah, I'm like 99% certain that it's the one that spent all of last summer living between the cupboard and the shelf underneath my shrimp tank. And that's where it was going. It was leaving the cupboard and heading up underneath the table, because I guess the little cupboard's only got corrugated iron on the outside of it. I don't know what you guys call that stuff. Metal, anyway, metal walls. It was probably getting a little bit too warm in the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
So it was moving up to the cool of underneath the fish tank.
Mm-hmm. And it's water source, probably.
No, normally the fish tanks, I mean, I've got it open at the moment because I need it to evaporate down to do another worm treatment. But yeah, it's got the bathtub pond at pretty much just straight outside the little cupboard, and there's a hole in the metal where it's rusted away. So it can get out and drink water out there. Get out of my face, whatever you are.
We call that corrugated metal. I had to think a second. Yeah, just corrugated metal.
Yeah, BJ, we've had 2 days in a row now with summer-like temperatures. Thank goodness it's a little bit windy to cool it down. But yeah, it's good to see one of the, like I said, I'm pretty certain it's still the same guy that was here last year. It was very, it's a very dark, like a milk chocolate Cadbury kind of brown for its base color, which is quite nice on a carpet python.
Didn't you relocate it a couple of times?
No, that wasn't that one. That was this one, I think, turned up of its own volition. The other two that were living up in the roof and in the bird boxes, they were relocations that my son bought up. But this other one, I think, just turned up one afternoon. I think when it was, because I think the really big one that we put into the roof of the garage was a big female. So I think once you get a female, you'll have a few males show up looking for some lovin'.
Mm-hmm. Some midnight special.
Yeah. Bruiser says, you ever decide what you're going to do with your mice? I know he keeps trying to flog them off to all of us.
Oh, I've been feeding some of them to some of the snakes that will only eat mice. And I usually just do it in the moment, like if there's a big male that's chasing the little teenage mice girls, and they're screaming and he's chasing them, I'll get him out, and whoever's due are ready next. The Brazilian rainbow boa, I had the one the other day that was being such a jerk about it. They must be just like guppies, you know. Once they start, they won't stop. So that's what I've been doing, is feeding some of the males. I probably fed 8 or 10 of them. But in the meantime, I probably had 25 or 30 more babies. The little pinky that I had in with rat snake I got 2 weeks ago, tomorrow, has that litter all has hair now, and they're eating the rat biscuits. That's how fast they grow. It's incredible.
Huawei. Our Santa still looks like yours. They've tried to change him many times and put him in short sleeves and shorts and stuff, and often it works for cartoons, but still it's, you know, lots of our Christmas cards are still snow and Santa with his long trousers on. Yeah, he's still the same guy. Père Noël, as the French would say.
Can't remember anybody trying to change Santa's look here. It would be a cool look for Florida, maybe, or California.
Well, it used to be red and green with the more traditional Christmas colours, and then the story goes that Coca-Cola came along and started commercializing Christmas and made it all red.
I didn't know that. Coke's been around a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, still all the same Christmas carols. Although there was a really good Christmas carol. I can't remember if it was by Kevin Wilson or not. It's a little bit, he's a bit of a, yeah. You look up Kevin Bloody Wilson, Where's My Bike? That's possibly the finest Australian Christmas carol. You might enjoy that one, Huawei. You might have even already heard it. But it involves quite a few F words and a few C words. But it's basically a, it's basically a story about the disappointment of a child not getting what they asked Santa Claus for and taking it out on Santa. Actually be interesting if there's a, pardon me, YouTube video of it.
You know, the classic Santa Baby, different people have done it throughout the years. They're trying to cancel that, block that, like with all the books and things they're doing away with. Santa Baby. I guess some of the lyrics are suggestive, like hurry down the chimney tonight, and some of that, but what isn't suggestive?
Righto, I'm popping a link into the chat, but be warned, if you're sensitive to foul language, don't watch it, because it's considerable foul language, but it might also be a gateway into one of Australia's funny, rude comedians, Kevin Bloody Wilson. Guarantee GRB knows him. The fourth wise man bought a bottle of Coke. 0 to Jesus in the manger. Frankincense, myrrh, and Coke. Wait, what was the other one? What am I missing? Oh, gold. The obvious one. Where is my worm, Coro?
I just got a 10% battery notice, so I'll either have to plug in.
No worries. I did say at the start that I was going to just keep this brief, but I also did preface that statement by saying that's generally a jinx to myself.
Yeah.
And hello, Coro. But yes, my worm is safely packed away in my trousers.
Oh, you're talking about my dog worm?
Yes, because you have Bob and Worm, and I just have Blackie. I have bloodworms in the freezer, and I'm fairly certain I've got rid of my planaria worms out of my shrimp tank.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to do another treatment because I still think my shrimp population is down. So I think I'd rather be certain than just ignore it and think that they're not there just because I'm not seeing them. But yeah, I'm always scared to siphon water out of that tank because of the massive shrimp population in it. But I think I might have to and just suck some water out and do it via a bucket so that if any shrimp come out, they go into the bucket. Because they don't generally, if I do it into a bucket, they don't go over the lip of the bucket. They swim away from the flow. Bob and Worm, Blackie and Burps, yeah. If I ever get my own dog, maybe I should call it Burps.
I'm going to have to take Worm off the marquee. She's not even up here now. There she comes. Where'd you go? Come on. Where you been? You heard him talking about you and he came, huh? All right.
You know, it won't be long and Dash, the dog that I showed on stream the other day, Dash will be too big for me to be able to pull up into my lap like I did the other day.
Yeah, that's true. Is he a herding dog?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a border collie cross Kelpie. So yeah, definitely a sheepdog based animal.
Yeah, nice mix.
And he was very, very interested in herding the red-browed finches the other day. He was on a lead, so he couldn't go anywhere. But he was so focused on them, watching where every single one of them was.
Oh.
I don't know whether that means he wanted to herd them or whether he wanted to go and murder them all. Ah, nice. June went and watched the Santa Claus song. And it was hilarious. So now everyone knows that June is not sensitive to foul language.
Right.
Yeah, I'm using a chemical one, BJ. Unfortunately, I very rarely like to use chemicals of any sort in my tanks, but yeah, when it comes to big outbreaks of worms, which when they first showed up, there was a massive outbreak of worms. 50 on this particular treatment. Sometimes I should have just bought the smaller bottle, but generally when, you know, the smaller bottle might have been $30 and then the bigger bottle that was twice as big was $50 and I see that slight saving, I go for it. But yeah, maybe I'll never need to use it again after the second treatment. And I wasted a huge sum of money, but it is, you got to use quite a bit at a time. So yeah, I'll do another couple of treatments because you do one and then you do another one 48 hours later. And then I'll try and do a proper water change and hope for the best. What have I got to do, BJ? Sorry, did I miss something in the chat? Oh, got to do, yeah, the chemical treatment maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, BJ, that's sad. It's pretty much what my boy died of last 6 months ago now. Fuck, is it that long ago? Still seems like only yesterday.
Yeah. I've noticed that, you know, I lost the 3, but bam, bam, bam 1 year, and it seems like it's only been a couple of years, but it's been like 3 or 4 years.
I still tear up when Pam holds up the picture that she's working on. I don't know how many people notice that, but yeah. It's bad enough talking about tearing up about it. Not sure which one I got. Hang on, I'll get it. LCA Planaria Fix. I think it might be locally manufactured. Liverpool Creek Aquariums, which I think is Sydney. Doesn't tell me. I thought things had to include ingredients and whatnot. Doesn't tell me where it comes from or what ingredients. But it came fairly highly recommended, so I'll keep using it. I don't think they've even established where planaria come from, have they?
I think they're considered like, I can't remember the word. They're just there. They're in dust. They're in the environment. At least that's what I remember about them. I have to take Yazzie to a vet appointment on Wednesday. His vet's been out having a baby. So I've kind of put off taking him, but I'm pretty sure his right eye's going to have to come out this time. Or not this trip, but I'm sure that's what she's going to want to do because I think it probably ruptured. And definitely the retina detached in there. He hadn't been seeing out of it for a while. But I had a doctor's appointment for a couple of months to go get some injections for the headaches I get from the ruptured disc. So I changed my appointment because that was the only day they could see Yazzie. So I'd rather have the headache and get him checked out. It'll probably be a relief to him. It might be even painful for him, you know. He definitely isn't seeing out of it because you can sneak up on him and stuff, or things scare him if they come up on him too fast. So it needs to be done.
See you, Bruiser. Thanks for hanging out.
See you, Bruiser.
Yeah, but Corey, I actually went to our local rural co-op for some ivermectin, and they didn't have any in stock. So I ordered the planaria stuff from Amazon, I think. And the rural co-op, they couldn't give me a ETA for their next delivery of ivermectin, and the planaria fix came in a couple of days.
Is it because people were getting it for human purposes, you think?
Yeah, I hadn't actually considered that. Maybe that's why they weren't getting it. Maybe why they weren't stocking it, so that people couldn't do that. But you know, it's a fairly rural community, so I'm sure it's in quite high demand. Ivermectin for your sheep and your goats and your cattle and whatnot.
Yeah, they had locked it up here at ours, and I don't even see it. But I still have some from when I had mites before. I still had over half the bottle. I've still got it here, and the mixture that goes with it and stuff. Right, Phoebe? Just joking, but I bet you're right, Bob. Oh, I didn't see what you said.
I think he was talking about the ivermectin and the bleach.
Oh, I see now. Yeah.
Anyway, we might call it quits there. Now that we've got more viewers than we've had all night, why not finish up? Whoa, that was weird.
Bang, huh?
Yeah, but we'll call it quits before your battery goes flat, eh?
Yeah, it hasn't given me the 3% yet, but it's good.
There it goes. But it's good. So I guess that was Bob running out of battery. And yeah, I think we've been going long enough. Unless anyone's got any questions they need answered, toot swoot. I will remind people that I put he had a 10% battery warning not long ago, June. So sometimes I mean, when you use StreamYard on your telephone, it drains your battery real quick, and it can just cut you out instantly when you're not prepared. And I believe that's exactly what happened. I'll remind everyone that I put some links to the Santa Claus song, which I highly recommend everyone check out. It was always so funny to listen to that song as a kid, thinking you were so cool for listening to so many rude words in a song. Also, Balzac's Discord, go and surprise him by joining up to that. And I don't remember if I put any other links up other than that. I am, but I'm also going to leave very shortly. Huawei. I am busting for a pee, and no one needs to hang around waiting for me to come back away from that. Come back away from that. BJ, Pam. The only reason I'm streaming here today is because Pam was quite poorly. She's. Oh, hang on. Let's try this again. Did your battery die?
It did, and look how fast I was able to get a charge to come back up. That
Massive.
works.
But yeah, what I was saying, BJ, is that Pam is intending to do a stream tomorrow night. Patty's already filling the crowd in, assuming that she's going to be in better physical condition tomorrow than she was today. I was actually surprised that she even showed up here tonight, because she was saying how bad she was.
Yeah.
So kudos to her for that.
Yep.
And of course, big bucket of kudos to Huawei as well for being the first one in the chat. I forgot to do that at the start. I forget these things when I haven't streamed for a long time on my own channel. So yeah, tomorrow night, same time. What does it work out? I know it's 2:00 p.m. my time, but it's certainly not the same time for everyone else.
It's 11 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow.
Cool. Thank you. And thank you, Huawei, for popping that link in there. I believe that is for Pam's stream tomorrow night. And also thank you, Huawei, for obviously modding and coming up and showing us your sexy shirt and body and stuff. And beard, by the way. Your beard's looking on point, son. Always good to eyeball your face. Don't forget to get on Balzac's Discord. And I don't know. What else you got, Bob? Is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
We'll probably see you all tomorrow night. But if failing that, we'll see you when we're looking at